Bill Haney, Devin Haney's father, had some not so nice words for Gervonta Tank Davis. Obviously, guys, we've been waiting for that Tank fight to be announced. It hasn't really been finalized in terms of location. We're hearing June with the David Benavidez, co-main event. I understand that, I'm aware of that information, but in terms of it actually being finalized, I don't think it's been finalized yet. So, we're waiting on that, but Bill Haney, obviously Devin and Ryan are fighting this weekend on Saturday night. Bill Haney was talking about the possibility of fighting a guy like Tank and, just comparing Tank to other potential opponents for Devin. And Bill Haney was just saying to the reporter, name them all. My son's going to beat them all. But I'm saying it in less explicit terms. That's basically what Bill was trying to say. He just didn't have nice words to say about Tank. He basically said he may have the foundation, the Hall of Fame foundation in terms of, who's surrounding him, who his advisors are. He may have the Hall of Fame promoting team, but at the end of the day, he's not fighting the best fighters in the world. He doesn't have a belt. A lot of you guys, let me know in the comments, do you guys think that belts are still relevant in the sport of boxing? I think I think there are pros and cons to everything, because with people within the real sport of boxing, they actually know what you've accomplished. They're going to understand that Devin Haney does have the better resume. He's accomplished more in the sport than Tank has, but Tank is more entertaining. Tank's more of a draw than Devin Haney is, and that's just the way it is. At least right now, Devin Haney with the win over Ryan Garcia, who knows? His clout and the following could very well increase if he puts on a stellar performance against Ryan Garcia, but I don't think he can just win a regular decision if he wants to make an impression on the world and send a message to guys like Tank, send a message to guys like Shakur, who have basically said that, Devin's on both of their hit lists and those guys are on Devin's hit list. So those are big fights. You throw Teofimo in the mix. I believe Devin Haney wants to get Teofimo next. That's what Bill Haney has insinuated. So I'm not mad at that fight. That's a great fight as well. These guys have history, have tried to make that fight happen on multiple occasions. Teofimo Lopez said that, Devin was ducking the smoke, and Devin saying that Teo didn't want the smoke. So obviously there are three sides to the story. Devin's story, Teo's story, and then there's the straight up truth. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. Hopefully that is the next fight, but for Bill Haney to be going at Tank, I do think that this fight is inevitable. Ryan Garcia is obviously a very popular fighter, but I don't think he's on the level of a guy like Tank and Devin Haney. And I don't know if you guys can hear those sirens, but we're in Brooklyn, baby. We made it. You can hear those sirens. That's how you know it's going down. I don't know if they're headed to the Barclays Center, but that's where Ryan Garcia and Devin will be fighting this Saturday. It's going to be a great fight, but it'll be very telling for the rest of the weight class at 140. But the guys like Shakur and Tank, who intend on going to 40 from 35 eventually, I think in the near future, because the big money fights, in my opinion, are at 40 for them. If either Shakur and Tank, fight Lomachenko, or Shakur and Tank fight each other, those are big fights. But if it's not that, I see them with no other choice but to go up to 40, eventually. But I'm hearing Tank is barely making 35, in terms of it's already easy for him to make 35, but he can kind of make 30. So he's small. That's what, Leonard Ellerbe was saying. That I think that, Tank has had weight issues, but that was when he was younger and more immature. I think he's grown into, a professional now, is what the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerbe, is referring to. So that he's saying that, Tank's grown up, and at this point, he's been strict with the diet, strict with how he works out. So when he's at his best shape, he's around 35 for sure. And fighting at 140, you guys have to remember there are weight classes for a reason. Devin Haney's much bigger, so it is a difficult fight to make. But I think that a lot of people are commenting on this interview with Bill Haney, saying Bill always has to be talking about Tank, and I'm like, no, the reporters are asking about him. Tank's a hot commodity in the sport of boxing. Everybody wants to see Tank back in the ring, and they don't just want to see him against any ordinary opponent. They want to see him against a guy like Devin, against a guy like Shakur, the best fighters in the world. People even talk about Inouye and Terrence Crawford fighting Gervonta Tank Davis, and I'm just like, it's not a realistic fight, but hey, those are big names for sure. In a dream fairy tale world, those are for sure good fights to watch. But As of now, I think, you know, if Tank doesn't fight the best opposition at 35, there's not much. I can't imagine there's much money to be made. Like, I get he's going to sell out arenas, but to what point are you like, all right, I'm 29, I'm approaching 30, I want to hit my prime. And when you're in your prime, do you want to be fighting the best fighters in the world, or do you just want to be running over guys that, you know, you already know you can beat? And if you know in your heart that you can beat guys like Devin, you can beat guys like Shakur Stevenson, then Tank would go after those guys in their primes. I don't think people are going to care as much if he waits a long time. You know, we don't want to see this fight when Tank's already like 34, 35. So then, you know, people are going to say, oh, he was past his prime already. His best days were behind him. You know, we want to avoid that at all costs. We don't want to let a fight, you know, there's letting a fight cook and, you know, grow into a big money fight, and then there's also, you know, it peaked and now it's on the decline. So it's so hard to find that sweet spot. I'm not saying Devin and Tank have to fight in their next fight, you know, assuming Devin beats Ryan and Tank beats Frank Martin. Like, I'm not saying that has to be the next fight, the goal for both guys, but at the end of the day, like, at what point do you say, I don't want to wait anymore? That's why I give all the credit in the world to guys like Devin and Ryan, because I feel like Ryan, you know, there was so much taken away from him in that Tank fight, just from the contract. Before the fight even started, you had to deal with stipulations like the weight clause and the catch weight at, you know, 136. And, you know, the rehydration clauses ultimately where I was like, all right, this is like, you're basically handicapping him. I get the catch weight once he has to hit that weight, but, you know, rehydrating and only within a 10-pound range where Ryan's a 5'10" and relatively strong kid, it's just like you're depleting him at the end of the day. I understand, like, people say, then why did you sign the contract? I'm like he wanted to make the big fight happen. What do you guys mean? He did it for the sport of boxing. Like, I feel like people don't really give him credit for that. I feel like most fighters would have just turned that down and said, you know, and they'd ask Ryan, why didn't you take the Tank fight? And he'd say, because, you know, he asked for this, because he asked for that. That's what most fighters would do, but Ryan said, like, whatever, let's make it happen. And he made a bag. Like, he made a bag, and in the process gave, you know, the sport of boxing what they wanted to see. And honestly, he saved boxing in a big way. A time where, you know, there weren't many big fights being made. We were still waiting on that Spence Crawford fight. We were waiting for Tank and Ryan, and Ryan and Tank was the fight that paved the way for that year of 2023 and kind of saved the year of boxing. In my opinion, that if that fight doesn't get made, you know, it would have been a relatively slow year for the sport. 1.2 million pay-per-view buys as opposed to Spence and Crawford, which was anticipated to have done a lot more than that. It only got like, what, 650,000 pay-per-view buys, maybe 750, but still didn't break 1 million. And this is the fight that we've been allowing to marinate for 3 to 4 years. That just goes to show how popular the new generation of guys like Ryan, Tank, you know, you could throw Devin in there. That just goes to show how much more popular they are and how much more of a draw they are because of their social media presences. So, you know, I'm excited to see these guys get in the ring. Obviously, it starts with Ryan, Garcia, and Devin on Saturday night. But let me know in the comments who you guys got, Ryan, Garcia, or Devin. I got Devin, but I'm not counting Ryan out all the way just because he has that equalizer. He's got that left hook, and this is a sport of boxing, and anything can happen. But let me know who you guys got, Ryan, Garcia, or Devin on Saturday night. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time on the next video. Hit that post notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Thank you guys for watching once again. Peace. That's going to do it for another NASFight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.